He was, well, he was held up there because of weather, which was beautiful. And we, uh, we we would have planes that taking off, flying out of sight, come back and landing while all the time he was there. He was over at the Pan American Hotel. Pan American Airlines had a hotel there.
So Pan American had a big presence.
Huh?
Pan American Airways had a big presence there.
Yeah, yeah, they had a hotel over there, and that's so the people, they'd own their flights to the Far East. Well, they'd overnight there, and they'd have to have a place to put them up.
Refuel.
Refueled, and people just because they normally, I don't think they flew too much night flying in that area at the time. But so anyway, where was I?
The admiral, and you were out in the midway.
Yeah. We put on a show of force while he was there, having our planes looked like we had a whole lot of planes, but so after 3 days, they put the engine back on that clipper that they'd pulled. Some of their mechs told some of ours that there wasn't anything wrong with it. They just had orders to pull it. So they grounded the plane, and he couldn't go anywhere. And at the same time, his Russian ambassador, special envoy, I guess, headed for Washington. And we speculated that our government wanted to talk with the Russians before they talked with the Japanese. Whether that's what happened, I don't know, but it sounded logical. Because there was nothing wrong with the plane, there was nothing wrong with the weather, so anyway, they flew him home. And somewhere along the line, we were out at Midway. We sent out mid-October, I think it was, and we were flying the area around there, and I think that was when they took the Enterprise took the Marine Fighter Squadron out to Wake Island, and we patrolled in front of them. And our orders were they were not to be sighted by anything, any fishing boat, nothing. So we didn't have to sink it. So we had 400 or 500 pound bombs under our wings, each plane, and so we didn't run into anything, so we didn't have to sink it. But they didn't want anyone knowing that they were putting the Marines out there on Wake Island.
How tense was it? I mean, you obviously knew
Well,
something.
it was pretty kind of uptight, you might say. So we didn't know what to expect. So then we got back into Pearl on Friday night, December the 5th, and I don't remember what happened Saturday. We'd been gone since mid-October. If I wasn't in the duty section, I probably went ashore, but I don't recall anything what happened, except Sunday morning, I had a rude awakening. I was up on the we called it third deck, third floor of the barracks, on a lanai, screen in the lanai that faced the hangar area, and so we had reveille about 5 minutes till 8 that morning, with the bombs going off.
Yeah. Wow. And you were awake at that time, Dick?
No, I was still asleep.
You were still asleep?
Yeah, when I didn't, I wasn't.
What time was it?
Huh?
What time did you?
I think it was about 5 minutes till 8.
Okay.
Somewhere about that. And I jumped out of my bunk, ran over to the side of the lanai, and one went right over, about maybe 100 feet over, with the big red meatballs on it. And it took about a millisecond to figure out what was going on. So,
You knew immediately.
oh yeah.
So what
Because-
did you do? What do you do? And what do you do in at a moment like that?
I got my clothes on real quick, got down below. They already had Marines posted on the doors and wouldn't let us out
Right.
because they were bombing everything and strafing everything that moved. And so anyway, when they slacked off a little bit on that first wave that came in, well, they let us go and we headed for the hangar, which was somewhere between a quarter and a half a mile down to the corner of the island. And we were right across. Actually, the California, I think, was parked. Well, I don't know whether they were getting her underway or what, or she was already anchored there. But there's a little cove alongside the sick bay, the dispensary, and she was into that, and she was right across the street from the barracks, the wing of the barracks that I was in. So we got down to the hangar and started moving, trying to get planes that weren't on fire away from the ones that were. So because those gas tanks would explode and throw burning gas over the others, because all the trailing edges of wings and elevators and everything were dope fabric, and so it was highly flammable. So we were pushing those around, getting away from ones that were blowing up. And there was one picture you generally see about the attack on Pearl Harbor, that there's and I might have it in one of these books, where some guys watching the destroyer Shaw explode, and there's a float plane that's on the beach, along not too far from there, and then there's a wing of a PBY laying on the ground there that had been disassembled from one of our planes
Really?
as it blew apart. Because I think the plane that I had flown in on Friday night that got a direct hit because we were one of the last planes that were pulled up on the ramp, and there was a hole there that was, I think, about 20 feet in diameter and 7 feet deep, in the middle of it where the bomb exploded, and that's about where our plane that I'd flown in on Friday night was parked. So anyway, next rest of the day was cleanup, and that night we Bullman, another radioman, and I were sent up to I think they call it Assembly and Repair, A&R building. We had a couple of planes in that were being overhauled. Now they just call them O&R, overhaul and repair, but they ship planes in parts out there and then assemble them. We had some of the planes from the Enterprise were coming in, and they told them the tower told them to make a straight-in approach. And they ignored that. They started to do a go-around, to see what the situation was. And someone opened up. And when they did, the whole harbor, just like Boston at night on the 4th of July, every gun in the harbor, I think, opened up. And I don't know, I've forgotten what, but I think one got on the runway, but the others were either ditched or shot down. And I don't know how many pilots they lost out of that. But,
that was our friendly fire?
Yeah.
That was our own men?
Yep.
I never knew that story.
Everything was, when you're walking around on the base that night, well, you always were whistling or something other to let them know that you were not a spy or something.